when I speak to players about, fantastic players I've played with, generally it'll be a little moment like a striker, like a Haji Wright, for example, and I'll talk to them about like a Didier Drogba movement or little things that I've seen and try and relate it, because I think players do relate and appreciate stories.
Here's just a reminder of Coventry's season. They finished 5th place in the Championship. They got into the playoffs, but they were heartbroken by Sunderland in the semi-finals. They were eliminated in the 4th round of the FA Cup after that 2-1 loss to Ipswich, and they didn't advance past the 3rd round of the Carabao Cup after another loss, this time to Spurs. Their top scorer, though, was Haji Wright, who had 12 goals across all competitions. Manager Frank Lampard, he was brought in mid-season last year, and he really turned around the club's fortunes. Here is Nigel just having a catch-up with him earlier on today.
Frank, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Hi Nigel, thanks for having me, mate. It's nice to see you.
Likewise, mate, likewise. Looking fresh and good, ready for the grind of the Championship?
Yeah, I guess so. We had a nice break, which was needed after the grind of last year. So now we're ready to go. Yeah, first game comes tomorrow. Pre-season is done. We're in a pretty good spot, so we start again. Want to be successful.
Just before we look forward, Frank, let's take it a little bit back. Going into last season again, you were, for me, the team that was in form going into the playoffs. Obviously, sadly, you lose to Sunderland, who are now promoted to the Premier League. How much of that do you use as motivation for your players going into this season?
Yeah, I mean, it was tough because I agree, we're in great form going into the playoffs. Over the 2 games against Sunderland, I thought we played really well. We were pretty dominant in lots of areas of the game, lost in the last seconds. Felt like we deserved more, but that is gone. So you try and reflect on the good part of the season, which was from Christmas onwards, where we went on this really strong run, won a lot of games, built confidence, changed the style of the team as we progressed. So I think really that's the motivation, really, is to keep the positives of what we did last season, try and pick up from there, try and improve constantly with the squad, with the work that we do at the training ground. But we do start again, and this league is so brutal, it's so attritional through the season because of the competition and the amount of games that we need to be ready. We need to be ready for everything to start again.
Frank, you came in last season, halfway through the season. You had an immediate impact in the team. What's the differences now, do you feel, as a manager, when you get to have pre-season and going into this season? What's the advantages for you?
Well, the good thing for us is that we know the players now. That coming in mid-season, you're trying to learn quickly about them, trying to communicate a lot, and then trying to make the quick, small gains that you can make to get performance and obviously results, which I feel like we did. So that was good, and I know that the players are very willing to listen, to learn, and want to do well for this club. So I think probably with the pre-season now, the benefit is we know the players. We get a chance to work physically with the players in pre-season to get our physical numbers up, because when we came in, we felt that was something we were short on. So now we can start fresh with that, try and add in some players, try and move on the levels. And yeah, sort of take the positive from last season, but we've had a good chance to work now. 5 weeks or so we've been working. So we want to have a better start, because this club's had 3 years of slow starts, and that means you're chasing ground later on in the season, and we want to correct that this year.
Frank, coming up against you many times in my playing career, I know how much of a winner you are and how driven you are. So I already have a goal for you for this year, and that's to get promoted. And we'll move on to that later on, because I've got a bottle of wine online for that. What's your goal this season as manager of Coventry?
Well, you put me under pressure now. If you'd have just said mid-table, I'd have been happier. We could exceed expectations. I feel like I've got to earn your bottle of wine now. But
come on, Frank, you're not a mid-table manager. Come on.
No, I'm not lowering my standards or expectations, but I do know this league now. I was here with Derby before, and I understand you have the teams that come down, the parachute teams as such. We have Sheffield United that were also in form of a parachute team, that have been in the Premier League. Birmingham and Wrexham are definitely going to mix it up this season with what they're doing, and other teams will be trying to improve. So, we have to worry about ourselves. We have to do the best we can to get the squad as strong as it can possibly be by the time the transfer window closes. And if we can do that, I've got a lot of belief in these players. There's a lot of desire at this football club, not just us as staff and players, but as fans, because they're desperate to get back to the Premier League. So we'll do our best, Nigel. Hopefully we can all be happy. We'll be happy, and you may have a nice bottle of wine, and an expensive one, I'm guessing. The way you're dressed there makes me feel like you're drinking expensive wine these days.
Oh, this time it's going to be expensive, mate. Don't worry about that. I've got some colleagues there who are very generous with their giving gifts. Let's move to a player now, Haji Wright. Very well known in these shores, American international. Where do you see him as his best position as a player, and what expectations do you have for him this season?
I'm a big fan of Haji. I was when I got offered the job. Obviously, you researched the squad, and Haji was a standout player for us. Unfortunately, with his injury last season, I didn't get so many games to work with him. He had one game for us where he played number 9 against Sunderland. It was fantastic and scored a hat-trick. And so my awareness of him is this: he played a lot on the left side for the club before. I can see how he can do that, predominantly with a lower block. We had a lot of space to run into. I think with Haji's qualities and the way we play, I really want to work on him centrally and get the best out of him in the central areas of the pitch, where I think he's got so many qualities that I want to work with. I think he's a really, really top player. He's very easy to work with, very likeable as a character. He wants to do well. I know he's very keen to succeed for us, and obviously to succeed for the national team. So there's a good pressure on us and good pressure on Haji this year to do what I expect him to do, what I really believe that he can do. And if we can get Haji right in the best of form, then he's a huge, huge player for us.
Frank, you've played with top-class and world-class players your entire career. Do you ever use that as a reference point from a coaching perspective to let players say, you remind me of this player, or this is the type of player you should model your game on? Is that something you do when it comes to coaching and management?
Yeah, I suppose a little bit. I think there's a few things. I think specifically with midfield players, because that's the area of the pitch that I played in. I like to talk to our players about, where they can arrive and what positions that I feel they could be in or should be in. So I'll use my experience of that a lot. But as a manager, you have to be more rounded than that. And I think when I speak to players about, fantastic players I've played with, generally it'll be a little moment like a striker, like a Haji Wright, for example, and I'll talk to them about like a Didier Drogba movement or little things that I've seen and try and relate it. Because I think players do relate and appreciate stories, about a player that I know Haji would have really liked as a young sort of striker, attacking player. And I try and do that. But the biggest thing I talk about in my experiences is work ethic and players understanding that these heroes, and I was fortunate enough to play with a lot of outstanding players. I also saw the work they did behind the scenes, the training, the dedication, the resilience, and these things. And I think that's what I really try and explain to the players as a whole, that to get to where we want to get to, we have to have that kind of mentality that I believe every top player has. So that's probably the main reflection I have on players that I've played with.
Well, Frank, you sold Kelsey-Hayden to sign for you and believe in you to come and join Coventry. You got to sell it to the American audience now, why they should support Coventry City and what makes your team so special.
Well, firstly, I appreciate the American audience. I had an amazing nearly 2 years living in New York, and just seeing your TV set there and hearing everyone speak gets me excited, because I used to wake up really, really early in the mornings and watch all the Premier League games at the time. So I understand how the game has really risen out there, and the fact that people are watching the Championship. Firstly, the Championship is a great league. It's a really competitive league. Anybody can beat anybody. It's very physical, very fast. So I think it's a really exciting league to watch. Why should they support Coventry? We're a team with a great history, a really, really big team with a real heart and soul in the city here of what we are. So I think people can really hopefully relate to that. And then secondly, and obviously important for me, is that we play good, entertaining football, good attacking football. We want to win games, but we also want to play well and entertain and dominate games. So I hope that people that are looking for a team to support and follow, then we're here, and hopefully we can show that.
Frank, can you describe the Championship in one word or phrase, more so that it can resonate with the American fans, since you say you've lived here and experienced the American culture? What can you think of?
I mean, I would say fast, hectic, unpredictable. That's what it is. We play so many games, play 48 league games, really tight calendar sometimes, and I think sometimes you can get the most unexpected results. So as I say, in terms of for an enjoyment factor of a spectator watching or audience at home, I think it's a league that if once you get into it, then I think it's going to give you a lot of excitement. That's how I see it.
Yeah. Just before I let you go, Frank, I work with a certain guy named Grella. the highlight of his career was nutmegging you. And he does have a lot of respect for you, he loves you, but that is the highlight of his career. He talks about it every time we come in the studio. And I'm just going to put a bit more pressure on you to make sure you get promoted, because he didn't back you, and I'm the only one who backed you, and there's a bottle of red wine on the line. Just remember that, all right?
You know what, Nigel? I remember getting nutmegged, and I remember seeing him on pitch side at a few games working in the media, and he's always been very, very nice. There's absolutely nothing between us. I just have to remind him that I was about 39 when he nutmegged me. So he didn't come up against me when I was 27. Well, he didn't come up against me when I was 27. So well done, mate.
There you go, Frank. That's what I told you. I keep telling him, Frank, he's messing with you. I said, Frank would have left two on you there.
This guy, you okay or what?
I'm fine.
I never talk about that. I love Frank.
kidding?
I think he's a gentleman.
You're going to sit here right now on national television. You never talk about it.
Never.
Never talk about it.
And I'll say something else, too. I'll say something else, too. The day it happened.
Tape these shows, right? You do know that.
Tony, the day it happened, I remember saying, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to see video of it. I don't want to be associated with it.
I can't even listen to this. This is such a lie.
This is disrespectful to Frank and the career that he had.
I did say you were respectful, though, but you do talk about it a lot. You talk about it all the time. I did say you respect him a lot.
You went to a Champions...
Talk about it?
How
do you think we know about it so well?
No, hang on. He went to a Champions League night in Italy at San Siro. I said, Grella, how was it? You were there. I can't believe it. You were pitch side. He went, saw Frank Lampard, reminded him what happened.
Yes, you did. I was there that day when you said that.
Oh, my God. You should be ashamed of yourself right now. He said it to me. I didn't say anything to him.
Like Frank said.
Frank, don't listen to them.
Like he said, you didn't do it to him when he was 27.
Like he said, are you proud of yourself for nutmegging a 39-year-old?
No,
Are you proud of that?
No, I'm not.
Well, guess what? Frank Lampard had a word with the soccer gods this summer, and he said, please get Mike Grella back.
This is where we're going. Okay, this is where we're going.
Close your eyes.
And this is why you stay humble, my friends, which is what I've always been.
Oh, man.
The irony in this is that Belushi is the assistant coach at
New York
NYCFC, and obviously Frank was at NYCFC, so it's karma in a nutshell as well. I think I'm half drunk in that game as well.
Don't make excuses.
But no, I'll take it. Listen, it's part of football. It happens.
It doesn't happen twice often, though, I'll tell you that.
I texted Grella when it happened, and all I texted was, are you okay? And he said, this is the world we live in, the social media world. I played well for 99% of the game, he told me.
I did. I played well, but I'll take it.
The fact you had a GoPro on made it even better for me. I thought,
I haven't seen that footage. I don't think they got the footage that they wanted from the GoPro.
You burned
Thank
it
God,
after.
by the way. But it was for charity. It was for kids. It was for Steve Nash Foundation. So it was good.
Good. Well done, Nige. I hope you're proud of yourself.